Pardon? Oh, yeah.
Sue, am I supposed to sign something for the facilities? Everybody.
Yeah, I could bring you, I think they're going to put them in your next meeting, facilities meeting.
Can I bring this meeting to order, please? Stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Thomas Wynn,
Here.
Marian Rosa,
Here.
David Demers, Anthony DeBona, Case Duplessis.
Here.
Kathleen Ramo.
Here.
Jonathan Ramsey.
Here.
Louis Raza.
Here.
Paul Renaud.
Okay, 37. Okay. Public participation. Anyone that has any comments, please come to the podium. Name and address, please.
Good evening, Rose Soboleski, 456 Davis Street. I'm just wondering if anything has come about on the questions I brought up at the last meeting on the Charter Revision Commission?
Yes, I will be announcing the resignation of Rob Kane, so that's not an issue anymore.
Okay,
And the other one that you talked about, commissions, some of those commissions, it's a monthly thing, some of them aren't monthly, so it does not apply, according to our attorney.
I see. And you have the name
That's
of...
the answer I got.
Well, all right. So after you announce that, if there's any discussion, I can
Correct.
talk about it later. Okay, thank you.
Sure. Here we go. This will be fun.
My name is Dennis O'Sullivan. I live at 238 North Street, and I lived there for more than 40 years.
I'm sorry, I'm just clearing my throat.
Should I go again?
Go right ahead.
One of the problems that we have on North Street is speeding. And I was at the Police Commission meeting, and the chairman, Mr. Antonesi, suggested that I come to you so that you can solve the problem. Now, I brought some drawings of a plan that was put together a number of years ago, and the plan was approved at some level. It may have been approved by merely the Police Commission, it may have been approved over and above that with a charter, a vote of the town, but it was approved. And to my knowledge, I'm told by because asking the question, a substantial amount of granite curbing for that work was purchased, and it was put in storage. And what we, the people on North Street, are trying to do, we've made a number of suggestions. We've made suggestions previously to put in speed bumps. We've made suggestions to put in stop signs. And one of the things that has happened is, on North Street, is instead of the speed being reduced, our speed rates were increased from 25 to 30 miles an hour. Now let me show you the plan that they have, and I'd like you to somehow have this plan implemented since it's been approved and we have the materials for it.
Dennis, excuse me, Mr. Sullivan, we can't, at this point, we're not that authority. So what I would like you to do is go to our town manager sometime during the week, make an appointment with him, find out exactly where we are, what hasn't been done, so we don't have to spend a lot of time just on this issue with public participation, which should be 3 to 5 minutes. And this seems like it's going to be a significant time in order for you to get your questions answered.
Well, I'm coming here because the chairman of the police commission told me to come here.
Well, he shouldn't have done that, because
Will you talk with him about that?
I will absolutely will.
Okay. Now, I'm prepared to talk. Is the town manager familiar with North Street and the plan?
It's not the plan, no.
Okay, all right. So what do you want me to do? Come to your office at some point during the week?
Sure.
All right. That's the first reason I'm here. I have a second reason for being here. I came here 6 months ago when you were planning on moving the town hall from the buildings that they're in right now, to the school, and you're implementing that. I was told by you, Mr. Chairman, that you had an item that was what I brought up. It was under review, and it was going to be resolved in 6 months. And that item was, what are you going to do with the old town hall? You told me that in 6 months, you'd have it solved, so I want to listen to your solution.
I believe I told you July or August, it was the month. I gave you a month, and it is now June. And once, the solution was going to be, and the conversations are going to be, is whether we put it on the market or we keep it as public property. And those are the two solutions. And we're going to have to make that determination.
Those are not solutions. Those are just questions that are unanswered.
That-
You indicated, when I brought the issue up, it was not, well, we're going to sell it, or we're going to tear it down, or we're going to give it away to somebody else. You told me that you had a group that was getting together, and they would have it,
And I gave
and you would give me the answer in 6 months.
Number one,
And
I
I think
tell you-
it was January that I asked that question. Now, maybe I'm 15 days away, but if I come back to your next meeting, will
Okay,
you
I
have
believe
an
I
answer
gave
to
you- I
that
gave you-
question?
I gave you a month. It was July or August. So that's all I can say. That's what I remember. You can check back to the minutes. I don't remember saying 6 months.
But if you're telling me that the only thing you're going to tell me is, well, you decided that you're going to sell it, or you're going to decide, I would anticipate that you would have it solved. You would have it, you'd make that determination, that not that you would say, well, these are our 5 or 3 options. I know what those options are. I'm looking for you as the person that's basically making those decisions, not you personally, but
Right.
collectively,
Right.
to tell us what you're going to do with the building. Now, I have some other questions that are with reference to the building. We always hear, whenever the building comes up, that there's a river going through the basement. Have you resolved that problem?
You're talking the Hemingway now building?
Yes.
Yes. As far as I know, the engineers have solved that problem. Mr. Scannell, this river that goes underneath our town hall,
They're working on the problem, and they have a resolution, yes.
right.
So they have not solved it yet, is that correct?
It's not completed.
These are mushy responses, and all I'm looking for is a yes and no. Have they solved the problem yet?
They have a solution.
I've been
They have a
listening to it.
solution that's being implemented.
I've been listening to it for a
At the-
year,
at the
that we
end-
have a river running through the building. Have you solved that problem?
Look, let me fill.
Could I ask the question yes or no?
The answer is no.
Oh, when are you going to get that resolved?
We don't know. We're working on it. I don't want to, you're way over the 5 minutes. Let's just,
I'm not aware of any restriction on 5
Yes, well,
minutes
yes, there
coming
is.
up here.
yes, there is.
Is that right?
Yes, there is.
Well, if you give me, if I ask a question, you don't give me a yes and no, you give me an extended answer, that's just protracting out my time. You're taking away from my
You're asking a
time.
question that we're not prepared to answer. I mean, I can't, no.
Through the chair.
It sounds like you're not prepared to answer any of my questions.
Okay.
Through the chair.
That's fine.
The Public Buildings Committee is overseeing this project. I would recommend that you go to the next meeting.
Every committee I go to, they recommend that I go someplace else because nobody's got an answer.
They have the responsibility over
Well,
overseeing the project.
I had a couple of other questions about, was there an issue having to do with a generator a purchase of a generator at this
Same
town
thing.
hall?
Yeah, it's a good idea. Go to public buildings or go to
So you're not going to give me any answers on
No,
that?
no, we've gone way too far.
You don't know anything about
No,
it, is that correct?
We're not going any farther. We've given you a lot of time, Mr. Sullivan. It's a long time, and I would prefer just to, let's move on, with all due respect. I don't want to have, there's no reason for a debate right here, right now.
I'm not looking for a debate, just tell me what you're doing, or you're not doing, and you haven't done anything, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Oh.
Al Mickle, 95 Woodbine Avenue. Dennis is always a tough act to follow. And I see we have a nice audience here today, all hardworking individuals that probably deserve everything that you can give them tonight. I have a question for you, Tom. I watch what goes on the websites, and on boards and commissions, last weekend I saw something that really upset me. Rachel Ray, the independent appointment, somehow got switched to an alternate, and Ron Russ was appointed to the Democratic side. I didn't hear this happen in any meeting. Can you explain what happened?
Are you talking about the
Charter revision.
The charter revision? No, yeah, that was an error. That is not, that was a...
I understand it was an error. Can you tell me
well, it was,
how that happened?
No.
You don't know how it happened?
Someone put the wrong names down, someone put down a...
Someone. You don't know who?
No, I don't. And it is not important because it's correct.
Well, you signed the letter to
Okay,
Ron Russ.
Okay.
So you don't know who gave him the wrong information?
no.
Oh, don't have any answers tonight, huh?
Yep, nope, thank you. It's corrected, though. Anybody else? Ma'am, name and address, please.
I'll keep this short and sweet. So my name is Jen Steiner. I'm at 61 Wilder Street. And my concern is I have been trying for months to speak with the Parks and Rec Department to try to get an answer of what sort of pesticides are being used in town parks. And I have a concern because I know the health issues that are related to that, and I have not gotten an answer. I have been countless phone calls. I've gone in, written letters. I've called again last Monday, I believe it was, and I'm still not getting answers.
You spoke
So-
to,
To the Parks and Rec departments, and I left another message. No one seems to be wanting to get back to me and give me
Okay.
the information. And I'm not expecting the information tonight.
Okay.
But I want to kind of know what is, what's my next step. We want to, a lot of these pesticides are linked to everything from hormonal issues, reproductive issues, cancer, learning disabilities,
Okay,
attention
yeah.
deficit. It runs the gamut. So if we can first find out what is being sprayed in town parks and public fields, then we can go from there and protect the health of the people who live in the town.
okay.
So that's my concern. I don't know what to do at this point because I'm not getting any answers.
If you would do me a favor, tomorrow, call Park and Rec, and I'll make sure Park and Rec is waiting for your phone call, and we'll do, pardon me?
Through the chair.
Maybe Lisa could give...
Oh, I didn't want to get that there, so why don't you do that?
Is there anyone specific I should speak with? Because there was one guy, Gary, who kind of gave me
Lisa?
an answer, but not really.
Okay,
but-
Lisa Carew, leave a message for Lisa Carew.
Lisa Carew?
Yep.
Okay, and that should,
And she'll get back to you.
okay. We hope.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you so much.
Here we go.
Al Mickle, 95 Woodbine Avenue. Is the pesticides spread on school fields different than the town fields?
I guess
So-
we'll find
so-
out from Lisa Carew
Okay.
and the Board of Education. I mean,
Okay, thank you.
these questions. Good. Anybody else? Catherine?
Catherine Camera, 31 Cottage Place in Oakville. I don't really know what to say here. I'm going to try to be nice and just say that I've had an issue with Freedom of Information that started last year in October, November. I had a hearing there in March. It was very interesting, some of the information at that hearing. Actually, it was a bit disturbing. I'm asking for a 311 investigation by the town council. I'm not asking for the town attorney, because under this charter, you can do it. I will give you information here. I'm not going to mention anything here, but I will be following up, because it's apparent that what I was told I couldn't get the information because it somehow was connected to law enforcement, but it wasn't. And then I was given the information, and our town attorney has spent almost $10,000, he's probably about at $10,000 now, to deny me the request, to then say I could see the information, to then not actually giving me the information that I was supposed to see, and this is still going on with Freedom of Information. Now, I've come here many, many times, and I have tried to explain that the people need to understand freedom of information. You know, everybody looks at me like I'm nothing but trouble. I'm disturbed by what came out of that. So I'm asking you to look at something. I'm going to give it to you. And if this is not going to be taken serious, I'm going to go myself, and I'm going to do something about this myself, because I think it's important to the people of this town to know what this is about. So I'm going to just hand it out to you. Thank you.
Can I just have all of those, please?
Well, it's addressed to the town council, so I'm
just
addressing
let me
it to
finish.
everyone.
You said you had a hearing. I'm just wondering what the hearing was.
The hearing was because of the denial that I received. and-
Where was the hearing? What
The
hearing?
hearing was at the Freedom of Information Commission
In Hartford?
in Hartford.
Okay, that's right.
Because I was denied. When I was there, the Freedom of Information Commission ordered the town to
Okay.
produce the file. Rather than produce the file to the Freedom of Information Commission, I was then told I could look at the file, but that wasn't the file. I was not given the actual original file.
Okay,
So it's been a bit of a shell game. Thank you.
thank you. Okay, anybody else? Feisty group tonight. Hearing none, public participation closed. Have a motion for the minutes of June 3rd, 2019.
I'll make a motion that we approve the regular meeting minutes of June 3rd, 2019.
Have a second?
Second.
Any changes or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? I
Abstain.
abstain.
I wasn't here.
Two abstentions. Okay. Motion for a special meeting of June 3rd.
I make a motion to approve the special town meeting minutes of June 3rd, 2019.
Have a second?
Second.
Any changes or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Chairman's report, I have two things. I guess I announced it already. Rob Kane resigned from Park and Rec, and it solves a question. And I'm just going to announce that the Charter Revision Commission will have a meeting next Thursday, the 27th, the high school lecture room, this room, and their agenda will be the election of a commission chairman and a vice chairman, and setting dates for 2019 dates and times. And that would be their agenda, just to let you know. It's just an announcement. Town manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The bid was awarded for the Bunker Hill project, the reconstruction of Bunker Hill. It's a $1.3 million project. It was awarded to Cochiola Paving. We've also been receiving a lot of tax appeal suits filed in Superior Court regarding the recent assessments. One day last week, I got 6 of them.
Okay,
That's it for tonight.
okay. All right, subcommittees. Case,
No, I have nothing.
Jonathan? And that's Lou? None? Okay.
Good, Chair. As far as the ordinance is concerned, there was question about the ordinance for the capital improvement fund for the Board of Ed that they brought to our attention a few months back. I just wanted to mention that that is still with the state of Connecticut, and I'm assuming their lawyers to
Yes.
determine exactly how they calculate the minimum budget requirement and some of the logistics and technicalities around that versus how we're using this fund. So
Okay.
I'm still with them, waiting to hear back.
Thanks. Okay, new business, can I have a motion for Ed, please?
I make a motion to set the wage schedule for the position of assessment technician as follows. Probationary salary of $46,411, a base salary of $51,567, and a maximum salary of $69,615.
Have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Through the chair.
Yeah.
That range was established based on an analysis, a salary analysis of 37 towns with similar positions. We established a mean range and went up and down from there.
Okay.
Could I ask how long a probationary period is?
6 months.
Okay.
Anybody else? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. B, please.
I make a motion to approve a bid waiver for the removal and replacing of the sand salt pile cover at the Hamilton Avenue Transfer Station to be installed by Robert L. Heller Jr. Construction Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $16,887.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, question.
You have any question for Roy?
I read through the bid, and curious, it says that they don't have to clean up, they're gonna take the one down, put a new one up, but then they're gonna leave all the stuff there, the materials.
Roy? Please, thank you.
Roy Kavanaugh, Director of Public Works. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
I'm sorry?
He wants the question.
Oh, the question. Heller says they're gonna replace the cover for the sand and salt,
Yes, sir.
and they said when they're done, when they take the other one down, just gonna leave everything there?
Yes, sir.
Who's gonna get rid of it? We are?
We're going to throw it in the dumpster for the construction debris, which is already up there. We can get rid of it far cheaper than having a contractor do it.
Thank you, that's all I need.
Any other questions? Thanks, Roy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. C, contract.
I make a motion to approve the proposed agreement between the Watertown Town Hall Supervisors, CSEA, SEIU, Local 2001, the CTW, and the Town of Watertown for the contract period of July 1, 2019 through June 30th, 2022.
Have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. D,
I make a motion to approve a 2.5% wage increase for department heads and non-organized employees as follows, effective July 1, 2019. The building inspector, the director of park and recreation, the police chief, the deputy police chief, the director of public works, the executive administrative assistant, the land use administrator, the town clerk, the water and sewer superintendent, the finance director, and the fire marshal. Full-time eligible individuals with benefits will have an adjustment to their insurance benefit according to the schedule of benefits for non-organized department heads effective April 1, 2020. Changes will include a change in cost share for insurance plans of 7% for an HSA and 20% for the open access plan for the April 1, 2010 rates. Permanent full-time employees will receive a $1,000 per year if they opt out or decline any and all coverage under the town's health plan. I further move to approve a 2.5% wage increase for the following: the fire chief, the deputy fire chief, the deputy fire marshal, the part-time social services clerk, the EDC coordinator, the part-time ID tech. And I further move to the following increases. For the registrar and deputy registrars, increase to $17.85 for prep work, and the election workers, 5% increase in wages.
Have a second.
Second.
Discussion. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. E.
I move to approve a resolution authorizing an appropriation from the general fund in the amount of $5,642 for tax refunds.
Have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. F.
I move to approve a resolution authorizing the tax refunds.
Have a second.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes.
And I move to approve the resolution authorizing the transfer of funds between line items for the fiscal year 2018 and 2019.
Have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. Public participation. Come up to the podium. Any questions or statements? Your name and address, please. Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All approved.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.